Before we proceed, I'm honored to introduce our new commissioner, Jose Ramirez. We're excited to welcome you to the commission, and we look forward to your contributions in serving our community. Commissioner Ramirez, would you like to share any remarks with us today?
I'm just really happy to be here. When the opportunity came up to be able to be of service to Santa Maria, and I just thought that it would be a great opportunity to give back. Been here most of my life and have enjoyed what the Parks and Recs has offered to me and my family. So, like I said, I'm super excited to just be here and be of service. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
And welcome, yes.
Thank you.
I would like to call this meeting to order for the Recreation and Parks Commission meeting of January 14th, 2025. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Carey?
Here.
Commissioner Diaz?
Here.
Commissioner Gudino?
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez?
Here.
And Chair Lopez.
Here. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. I would like to request a motion to approve the minutes from the January 14th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh, you weren't here.
Oh, I read them.
Oh, you,
Okay.
next
Thank
time.
So who seconded? Cynthia. Thank you. Having heard the motion and second, is there any discussion to approve the meeting minutes? All those in favor of approving the minutes, so please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is a public comment period. As a reminder, speakers are allowed 5 minutes to comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak at this time?
We do not have any public comments this evening.
Are there any written comments?
No, we do not have any written comments.
Thank you. Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to announce that my term as Chair of Recreation and Parks Commission has come to an end today. So thank you. I do want to provide a few words. Thank you, commissioners and staff and city leaderships for the optimism and your contribution to the city for the recreation parks. I'm excited to continue my role as a commission and continuing to be an active member. And so now I welcome Chair Carey to take over. That's
Sure.
good? Sounds
That sounds
wonderful,
good.
eh?
Well, we're not quite finished because before we do anything, we need to thank you for your
Oh,
service.
wow, I got it.
And award you with your gavel.
Thank you. This is nice.
Oh, this is to put it on.
Wow. Cool.
Try it, yeah.
I always wanted to use the one in here, remember? All the time. Here we go.
Cappuccinos.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
That's awesome.
That's your question.
Very official. It's warm. Hi, welcome. Let me get my agenda, sorry. Okay, we are going to have, well, seating of the vice chair. That would be, Mr. Posada is going to seat our vice chair as well, or is it just automatic?
You're good.
Okay, welcome, vice chair.
Thank you, that was fast.
Okay, we're going to start with committee assignments.
Yes.
I hope everyone has had a chance to look through the committees that are available.
Commissioner Carey, yes, so just for Commissioner Ramirez's orientation, we did meet and we did talk a little bit about committees. We didn't talk specifically about them. So the list of committees was in your packet for last month. I know,
Yeah.
Shannon, was it in for this month also?
Yeah.
No, it's last month.
Last
Yeah.
month.
So we can go down that list and kind of cover real quickly what the tasks are and see if there's any interest. Staff is here, we can answer any questions that you might have about the committees.
Is that mine?
Yeah, just trying to help you out to get through those. So let me find my list. Yep, not there.
I didn't bring mine.
You want to,
Can you guys put it on the screen by any chance?
there you go. That works.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so I found my list. So we have the Budget Committee, and the Budget Committee works with Neville Smeda, our HR and business manager. So what that group will do is be briefed on the budget, let you know what kinds of things are coming up in the budget. Today, he'll go over in his report on our recent reductions that we had to make. But that committee kind of helps staff get a perspective from the community as to where changes should come in the budget or where requests should come to increase services. One of the things that it also will do is that'll be the committee that we hope lobbies with the council when it comes to things like additional funding for programs, or talk to your individual council members about what they would like to see come forward, and it would work through the Budget Committee. 4 to 6 hours a month are needed usually when the budget period is happening, but that's really just to recap with you what's happening in the department. There are 16 different accounting divisions, I believe, in the department, so there's plenty of places to go look for things. Neville has really done a great job getting it in a fashion that's understandable and organized in his presentations to you. So that's the Budget Committee. The Park Development Committee, we talked about combining that committee with Capital Projects Committee. So basically anything that happens construction-wise in the department, new parks coming on board, negotiations with developers, making changes to parks, adding playgrounds or updating playgrounds or things like that would fall under Park Development and Capital Projects Committee. That would be working with the assistant director and the parks manager when we have one to look at these projects in advance, give your input, provide guidance as to what you're hearing from the community of what our project should look like or what it should, where it should go. That again comes up probably a couple of hours every quarter to work on a project or to get briefed on a project. Same thing, we ask that committee would also work with their council members to get the information to them and let them know what's coming up. Recent example of that was the Pocket Parks project that we worked with the council on and city manager's office to get the two projects that we're working on now accepted and then funded. So it's an important committee. You'll learn a lot about capital projects, and you'll learn about the process that we have to go through to deliver a project. Our partnership with Public Works and Community Development, both those departments play a major role. Public Works builds the project and designs and builds the project for us. Community Development makes sure we stay within our, proper permitting, environmental issues like that. So it's a great committee to be on if you're interested in that kind of stuff. The Community Partnership Committee is, is one that, again, just what the name means. We work with other groups. For example, the Natural History Museum on their building that they have here on McClellan Street. The Senior Citizens Club. These groups that are quasi-city groups that run activities, that use our facilities, that have a major impact on programs and services that get delivered. So that committee would handle situations that come up amongst these groups, maybe when it's time to renegotiate a contract or they have a complaint or a concern they want to bring forward. It would be that committee that would hear that. Sorry, let me turn the page. The Play Board member is a commissioner that's appointed by the commission to represent them at the Play Board meetings. Right now, that is Commissioner Lopez. And basically, you're representing the commission there. The way the bylaws of play are written is that there is one commissioner, the Rec and Parks Director, are standing members of the board, and then the other members are community members. So right now, we just added a new community member. Mary Robel joined the board as treasurer. So she's a past employee here at the department and recently retired from her job with a government agency in the valley, in San Ynez Valley. So that's a play board member. The Arts Committee works with Dennis Smitherman and the staff in Recreation to develop arts programs, get a feeling for what's happening in the community in the arts, keeps things in perspective for the commission as far as the arts go. So if you have an interest in the arts, visual and performing arts, this is a committee you might want to consider. That is a two-member committee. I'm sorry, I didn't mention that. So all of our committees are two-member with the exception of the play board member. I mentioned capital projects already. The Landmark Advisory Committee. So 2 years ago, the council dissolved its Landmark Committee, which was another appointed committee by the council, and gave that responsibility to the Rec and Parks Commission to handle. So that's two commissioners. That group meets on an as-needed basis. Dennis also staffs that. That is for when a group or an individual or even the commission or the committee members have an idea for something of historical significance that should be a landmark, then that would advance through the committee and then to the commission and then ultimately to the council to designate a building or something as a landmark. There are a number of landmarks out there. Dennis did a great job 2 years ago updating the landmark website, so you can kind of go to each of the landmarks in the city and see what they are. So that's another committee. Again, if you have interest in Santa Maria history, that's a good one to do. The last thing we did was the Speedway. Is that right? Did that? So yeah. And that's, again, a two-member committee. So those are, Downtown Specific Plan, sorry, is the other committee. That's also a one-member committee appointed by the commission, represents our interests in the downtown and what happens in the downtown. Commissioner Carey's been serving on that committee, I think, since it started. And things like the downtown development that's coming, the residential that's coming in. Recently, there's talk about the Business Improvement District that will be coming in to help fund improvements in the downtown. Perlman Park, being redesignated to become a site for low-income senior housing, and preparing for those kinds of transitions that's coming in the downtown. So those are the committees, and happy to try to answer any questions you might have about them. And we can go down the list. Commissioner Carey can go down the list when she's ready and kind of ask who's interested in being
Yeah,
on those.
if there's anyone interested right off the bat that I really want to do whatever committee, let's start with Cynthia.
It's up to your management of your time. We certainly don't want to tie you up
Yeah.
a lot.
None of the meetings are overlapping, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
What would you be interested in?
I would like to be in the Budget Committee and the Park Development and Capital Projects.
Perfect.
I have more, but that's okay.
Oh, there's always more. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah, that's two. That's right.
Okay. I would love the downtown and the community partnerships.
Okay, and I would love the downtown. I'd like to stay on there, so we'll probably have to
That's
work
fine.
that.
Arm wrestle.
I'll do my left hand.
Okay, and I'm sorry, community partnerships, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
That or that or art committee, I'm a little tight on those.
Okay.
So,
Okay, you got those down. Well,
I'd like to remain on the budget committee as well as play.
perfect.
Sally?
Hector?
Jose,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I look like a Hector. The Arts Committee and the Development Capital Projects one are ones that interest me.
Okay.
There's also the Landmark Advisory Committee.
Charlene.
And you scroll up, Shannon, or down.
So I'll just throw mine in. I'd like to stay on the Downtown Committee and the Arts Committee and Landmark Committee. Because I don't think the downtown actually counts as, oh, maybe it does. But yeah, so those three, if they're open.
Is there one or two at the community partnership? Is it just one?
Yeah, because they combined it.
Thank you.
The community partnership, yes.
It's together with the capital one?
Uh-huh.
Capital and Park is one. Lo hicieron juntos.
Capital and Park Development are one.
Capital
Okay,
and
wait.
Park. Okay,
Yes.
so community is separate.
Yes.
Community Partnership
Community
is
Partnerships
separate.
is different, okay.
Oh, okay. And did we already have two people for that?
I
Negative.
think I'm the only one on community partnerships right now.
Can I
Okay,
add that to mine too? Okay. I'll get that too, the community.
Okay, we'll see what Jose wants to do.
Oh, right, sorry, Jose.
No,
You did art?
Arts and then the
Capital
Park
projects.
Development, Capital Projects. Yeah.
Is anyone writing this down?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Shannon,
Shannon's ready.
thankfully.
So Shannon, who do we have for each? If you
Yes,
go down
so
the
right
list.
now for the Budget Committee, Commissioner Gudino, Commissioner Lopez. Then for Park Development / Capital Projects, Commissioner Gudino, Commissioner Ramirez. For the Community Partnerships, we have Commissioner Diaz, Commissioner Gudino. For Play, Commissioner Lopez. For the Arts Committee, Commissioner Diaz, Ramirez, and Carey.
Oh, there's three?
Three.
I'm not on the arts.
You don't want the arts?
I'm on the downtown.
Oh, that's the one
we're
with
gonna have to work
one, Carrie and you. Yeah, that's for two.
Flip a coin.
And then the landmark is Commissioner Carey. And downtown specific is Commissioner Diaz and Carey, which there can only be one.
And arts, I want to do arts.
And arts is
So I want to do art, landmark, and then downtown.
Carey.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Nomás uno en downtown.
Arts. There's only two for arts, right?
Yes.
Right.
We should just stick with one for now.
Yeah, I could stick one for now with the other one. It's fine.
Okay.
So did you stay, you
So-
left me at art? Just making sure.
So for arts, we have Diaz and Carey. For landmark, we have Carey. And downtown specific is Diaz or Carey. Only one. I don't know.
Yeah. and
I yield to you.
Yeah, I mean, the commission chair makes the appointment, so it's up to her. But the one thought is that there's no restriction to the number of people who can attend the downtown meetings. So, you're perfectly welcome to go and be part of that committee and maybe be the backup for that committee.
Actually, Ileana was the person, and I was her, what's it
Backup,
called? Backup, yeah.
So I'll be your backup.
Yes, yeah,
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
that's how I actually got on.
Did you want to do three?
The Landmark Committee is missing a commissioner. It'd be nice to have somebody, that has, like I said, an interest in history in the city. If it meets once a year, I think it would be often,
Yeah.
Gudino?
The sad thing about the Landmark Committee is we have all these great ideas, and there's projects we could do, but there's no funding.
Yeah.
So, but it's really great. So
Yeah,
just-
you learn a lot of history of
Yeah.
Santa Maria. There's a number of people. So what that committee does is has their meeting and then invites members of the community, and those members of the community bring every history thing that they've ever uncovered to these meetings and, brings forward things.
It's remarkable. It's
Yeah.
just remarkable sometimes. Sometimes it's not. I'm kidding. It's good.
So,
Okay. Are we good with,
Madam Clerk, are we good?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, yeah, I see you. You'll be the alternate. Perfect.
Yeah,
It's really a fun committee, too.
Okay.
I mean, it's just fun to go.
I love it.
Okay,
Jose
tomorrow's
has
meeting.
arts and capital.
Tomorrow? There's one tomorrow.
He's not.
You don't have to go. I mean, I'm going. Okay, okay, there we are. So, let me move on.
Okay, 1 second. So, 1 second, Commissioner. So,
Okay.
Commissioner Ramirez, capital projects, and what did you choose?
How do you say that?
That was the only one since those two were combined.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we got that, and now we're moving on to the, sorry, these are kind of crazy for me. Okay, Director and Management Staff, and we'll start with Mr. Smith. The Business Manager's Report.
Good afternoon, commissioners and staff. My report is specifically going to be based on just providing some information related to budget reductions. So what you would have heard at recent city council meetings, the last 11 or 12, there have been talks about the budget deficit which the city is experiencing, and we've received a directive from the city manager's office to make proposals of how we plan to, or how each department plans to reduce our budget over the next 1 to 2 fiscal years. And so what I'm going to present to you today, and this should all be in your agenda packet, it's a double-sided document entitled Proposed Budget Reductions. And it's just a snapshot of some of the proposals that we have presented to the city manager for consideration. Ultimately, all the departments have been charged with a similar exercise in identifying where each department can cut to reduce the budget footprint. And so my goal today is to share with this commission what ours looks like. And I also just want to iterate that nothing's set in stone. These are proposals, hence the title, Proposed Budget Reductions. I'm not going to go through each one, but one thing you'll see a recurring theme is savings with current vacancies and ongoing vacancies. It's a large chunk. The big part of our budget is our staffing, that's salaries and benefits. And so we have had positions that were filled once upon a time, yet we have not filled them in an effort to help with reducing the budget. And so that you'll see two different parts in the table. You'll see current vacancies, so that's everything from July 1st through January 30th. That's how much we've saved by having vacancies. Wow. And then projected ongoing vacancies through June 30th is another $400,000. We're making many assumptions with those ongoing vacancies. Some positions we just know are going to stay open. Some we might not get approved to fill, and then there might be 1 or 2 that will actually be filled. And then there's also been discussion for a proposal to reallocate. In fact, this has gone past the proposal part. This is actually happening next week. We're going to be reallocating 2 of our park staff members from the general fund budget to the special districts fund to also help reduce by almost $200,000 our budget footprint. And also, I should have said at the beginning, this is specific to the general fund. Any special funds like the special districts fund, we have not been asked to make any budgetary reductions. Further down the first page, reduction impacts, I'm highlighting the positions that are going to be helping with these savings noted in the table. And then you flip it over, there's more narrative as to what kind of impacts holding these positions vacant will have on the department, and on even larger than that, the community. And you can read through that. We're also talking about reducing our fleet size somewhat, and then adjusting some of how we are using our contract services. And reduction in irrigation, and again, reallocating some of our general fund expenditures to the special districts expenditure fund, which is significantly healthier than the general fund. So that's my presentation. It's a snapshot of, again, just informational of some things that are going on behind the scenes. As we progress through the fiscal year, we'll continue to receive direction from City Council and the City Manager on what the expectation is. I suspect it's going to continue to evolve, and in a month at our next meeting, we would have received further direction from City Council at next week's council meeting, and then I can present any updates to this budget reduction plan. And with that, myself and the management team are available for questions from the commissioners.
I have a question, Commissioner. So has this been presented to City Council yet?
There's been it's been presented to the City Manager.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's gone all the way to council.
Yeah, it'll be at the council meeting next week.
Yeah.
Will be where the reduction plan is presented. And the city manager's office and the finance director will make the presentation and kind of put it into groupings. If you recall back in January or February of last year, the finance department proposed a 3-tier reduction measure. Tier 1 was some general cuts in services in the general fund departments. Tier 2 was a more significant cut. So they have implemented tiers 1 and 2 this time around, which I believe was totaled about $14 million reduction. For our department, it was $2.1 million total. As you can see on the number here, we didn't reach that number. And then the third tier was public safety reductions. So the council has not at this point gone to the public safety side, although those departments have made reductions within their operating budgets, just as we have, as Neville's mentioned here, over the course of the last year. And that was kind of the plan, was to kind of phase into a reduction plan, so we'd get to a point now and have the council adopt a plan. New city manager, so he has a different approach to how he wants to deal with the budget reductions. I think next council meeting will be interesting. So it's only one item on the agenda, and that is the budget. So if you have a chance to watch it from home, or you want to drop in at the meeting, please feel free to do so. I'll just comment that, we're all part of the same general fund team: police, fire, community development, rec and parks, some portions of public works. So we're all coming out of the same pool of money. So I will say that the share of reductions has been fairly equal. I think everybody, we have just over a $10 million budget. Other departments like community development's budget is maybe $5 or $6 million, and they've had to take reductions too. So it's been hard across the board. So I want to say, I guess I'm going to try to use the term fair. We knew we were going to have to come up with a point, and I think staff's done a really good job identifying the cuts and then now implementing them this next year. Will it get better? We don't know. We'll see over the next year how the economy moves forward.
Thank you. More questions, Anais?
Yeah, I had a quick question. You did say that you had the current vacancies and the ongoing vacancies that you are holding so you can reach these budget cuts. So if you add these two beginning ones, it's almost 1,219,000. So, that's a huge number, but how are you functioning with such lack of staff? I mean, you want to reduce your fleet size, all of these things. How is that feasible?
Yeah. So each one of us could potentially have something to say about that. We've had to make some concessions, some programs we've had to reduce the size or just eliminate altogether. And that's just part of unfortunately, the doom and gloom of having to go through such a significant budget cutting process. And it's affected the recreation division. It's affecting we've had to shut the water off at our parks. And that's going to make soccer and softball and things like that maybe not look so pretty to play on, but it's a significant impact, and so there's just some things we're not able to do. I'll give you an example. Two of our key positions, the teen outreach coordinator and recreation coordinator, work with the mayor's task force on youth safety, and so there's had to be some adjustment there in terms of how much we could actually provide that particular task force. The graphics technician, that's one that's hurting us because that reduces the ability to be able to market our programs and our events and get the word out. And so we could have this really nice event at Machado Plaza, but no one shows up because we don't have anybody to design the art and do the social media and all that to be able to get it out there. While we do have a marketing coordinator, but to supplement her role, that graphics tech is really critical too. So, I mean, that's just very brief examples of where we're having to make significant reductions, and they're hard decisions that are having to be made.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone else wants to add.
Yeah, just throw in, so one of the things that, it's like timing. So it wasn't like these positions had people in them. The opportunity presented itself because they were vacancies. And that's, not necessarily a great thing. I do know that, especially in recreation, that, it's a very people-oriented kind of thing. The communication is important. The connection that Neville mentioned is important. So we think that's a key position. And we may, and I know we have, in fact, requested that we relook at it and maybe find a reduction somewhere else. Still staying within our goal, our target reductions, but maybe that position might be one that we would go ahead and hire and move forward so that we can get that connection with our residents.
Any other questions from the commissioner? Okay, next we have, thank you, Mr. Smeta. Operations Division report by Angela Oslin.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm excited to come today and talk about all of the great work that we're continuing to do. Some of this, most of you will have heard. These are just minor updates on projects, but just wanted to bring in our new commissioner on what's going on with our updates. So with the weather that's coming on, we are focusing our parks and district folks on preparing for the storm. With the winds and rain that are expected. We do have our hours of operation Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And folks in the community can call extension 2260 if they want to report tree issues to us. After hours, they can call dispatch, and the dispatch will get in touch with us, and we'll take it on from there. In terms of just general tree trimming, you'll see our crews out doing tree trimming in our parks and in our urban forest areas. This is just a part of our ordinary maintenance, but we do have some of our parks crew members helping supplement that work as we're trying to manage our budget reductions. The community gardens at Muscle Center were completely redone. The plots were overgrown, but they've been cleaned out and refreshed. We had some other work in there. We had a structure that we'd taken down and moved some things around to make it more efficient for folks to get in there and get to work with our gardens. If anybody is interested in the garden plots, they can reach out to Park Administration and we'll get them connected. Some of the other things that you'll see happening around our parks, it's time for our playgrounds to have some wood chips added so that we're bringing up the the safety in those areas. Right now, we're doing Prescott Park, and then we'll continue to move around the various parks that need them. DeJoy Pocket Park, this is still under construction. I don't know if anybody's had an opportunity to go by and take a look at it, and it's looking great. Our fencing's up, most of the curbing and the hardscape items are in, other than the landscaping, and we're finalizing our playground installation and some of the other landscaping elements. So we're hoping that that project wraps up towards the end of March, and then it'll be open. Taylor Pocket Park construction was awarded. So I don't know if folks know that. We're going to start putting some fencing up towards March, and then construction will start in March. That project is anticipated to take a couple of months, so it should be open by the summertime for the community. I think folks have seen our ball fields have been prepped, so those are all generally prepped and getting ready to open. If it does rain, then what we'll do is go ahead and close those down just to maintain the new grass that's been growing. In terms of our parks in general, we are prioritizing our fields with watering. So we're making sure that anything that is new landscaping has water and that's adequate. Any of those areas where we might have identified turf reduction projects, those are the areas that you're going to start to see brown a little bit. But generally speaking, the staff right now is putting together a more comprehensive priority list. And when we come back to you next month, we'll talk about what the priorities are that are being recommended, and then what the level of service looks like at those parks, and how that plays out in terms of industry standard practice. So we'll get you a presentation on that. City Hall landscaping project. Silt fencing should be coming down at the end of this week, provided that the rains kind of dry up after the weekend, and then they should be planting next weekend, so we're hoping to wrap that project up here in the next couple of weeks. Manami parking lot paving project is going on. This project is overseen by Public Works. If you haven't seen it, there are, 5-10 trucks over there. It's pretty busy. So we still have parking along the side of the road and a pathway to get to the building. But that project should be completed towards the end of next week. If the rain delays it, it'll just be another week, and then they'll do some painting, and then we'll reopen it up to the community. So it'll be very exciting. And then the Battles multi-use beautification project is still ongoing. Most of the main project is tied up, but we do have some shade structures and trash receptacles on order. Hoping to have those installed by mid-spring, and then that project will be tied up and fully completed. There is some compost out there, so we're continuing to move that around and place it where we need to in the city. So that'll probably take another little bit to remove, but for the most part, I've seen people walking on it, and it's been great. The Smith Enos House and Japanese Community Center construction. Did you want to add something? Okay. Project is ongoing. The timeline for site completion is still estimated for this summer. So we're continuing to do site work, and then the next phase of this will be landscaping. I know that there are opportunities to contribute to the Enos House through play. So if people are interested in that, you can reach out to Dennis or Mr. Posada. And that is my report. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to entertain them.
I have a question.
Sure.
So regarding the Manami parking lot, I did see it. It's awesome because I always used to go to Manami, and it was just really bad for the cars. And even if you wanted to ride a bike, it's just no way. But question on the parking though. Well, if they can park on Depot, I drove by today and there was a lot of Pacific Petroleum trailers parked on Depot.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's something that was included with the parking lot or.
So our contractor out there is Ramsey Construction. I
Oh.
don't know what Pacific might be doing out there, but I can ask the construction manager.
Yeah, there's about 3 or 4 trailers out there.
It could be that they're getting ready to do all of today was the day they were doing most of the paving.
Oh, okay.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they had all of their gear and their stuff out there.
But they were just trailers though, no trucks hitched to them. So it was just trailers.
I'll have to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Thank you
on
for
that.
letting me know.
And that's it on my end.
Any other questions?
Just real quick, Commissioners, just to touch base on the irrigation and the browning of some of the parks. So obviously it's going to rain, so that kind of helps us out a little bit.
Yeah.
But it is important to remember that probably 90% of our parks, have grass in them. And there's probably a good portion of that grass that really never gets used for recreational purposes. I mean, if you play soccer, it's pretty much the main field area. And all the peripheral grass is really what we're looking at trying to minimize so that we can concentrate our irrigation on the sports play field areas. Also, when you look at the perimeters of the park, it's usually where we try to plant shrubbery and, that way we can, again, do limited water with drip irrigation systems instead of having the spray kind of systems out there. So a lot has happened over the years, but water still is our biggest item. And we probably spend close to $1 million a year on water. And, anything we can do to control that water use will help replace some of the money that we're losing in our other sections of the general fund. So that's an important consideration. So if you hear from people about concerns about parks, starting to brown out in some areas, understand why. It was very hard for our parks personnel. Angela tried many times to convince them that the right thing to do was to reduce the water as much as possible. I think the final example that she used, it's people or it's water. You're either going to have to lay off staff or we're going to have to, reduce the water. So you should see it. Like I said, the rain helps us so much that you probably won't see anything for, a couple of months of good weather. But in the meantime, there is a plan.
I have a question actually regarding the water, in the water retention basins. There's one right by our house and there's a team, well, there's several teams, but they even have lights at night. They bring them in.
Really? Oh, we'll have to go check that out.
Oh, yeah. It's a really small basin too, but are they being watered or is that something that's cut out?
So, yes, the water, those basins are usually paid for by the district.
Oh, okay.
Funds, special districts pays for that. So yes, they'll still be reduced somewhat, but not to the extent that the general fund parks would be reduced. And that'll be Neville's magic wand to try to figure out how to get everything accounted for. But the districts do have their own funding mechanism. They also pay a significant part of their budget for water. So it impacts us all.
Thank you.
Can
Any
I
other
add a
questions?
question on that? Can I add a comment? Well, so the basins, does that include Crossroads and Adams Basin on the district funding?
Not Adam, because that was a pre-existing before the
Okay.
landscape districts, but Crossroads is in the districts.
Okay.
So, yes.
So field-wise, on sports fields, are we talking about Atkinson and Hagerman?
Generally, yeah, the more used fields would have higher attention paid to them and more water spent on them to keep them playable. Elks Field is another example where, we have a number of teams that play on those.
Elks
So we
Field?
try to keep those up, yeah.
Where's that one at?
Elks Field, right down the road here, where...
Seamus.
Yeah, Seamus Park, yeah.
The one right behind the pool?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's our,
I always call it
that's our
tennis.
only professionally sized baseball field.
Mm-hmm.
So the college, 3 or 4 local baseball teams play out of there. Former Commissioner Milena was very involved with Babe Ruth in those groups.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their home field.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
We're good. We have questions? Nope. Nothing else? Okay. Recreation Division report, Mr. Smitherman.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. And welcome, Commissioner Ramirez. Just a couple things to go through real quick with you today. And I have a good-sized group here, so I want to say that this amazing group did a good job helping Public Works yesterday, recognizing the unveiling of Dan Blau Drive. I often get thanked and appreciated, and really it's not me. I wasn't out there setting up the podiums and the chairs and all that, so I want to say thank you to Jeanette and Stephanie and crew and everyone who made that happen. Real quick, we talked last month, the rec guide is out, and again, not too many copies printed. We're down to about 250 in English and Spanish, but it's available online through a flip book format, so it is available now. Where winter, spring 2025, we are changing, since we're mostly electronic, to a seasonal format. So we're gonna be going to 4 seasons a year instead of a combined 2 seasons a year. So it also helps save a lot of time and gets people the most up-to-date, accurate information much quicker. So then we have the fee study. Don't forget that we do have a special meeting on the fee study, if I remember correctly. It's the 25th. Is that sound about right,
Yes.
Shannon? Great. So we'll be going over the fee study, and if you have any questions before then, please feel free to give me a call. And the last thing, real quick, I'd like to go over with you tonight is the leisure needs assessment. I got some great new numbers today. I know it's a quick overview again, but I wanted to share since we have a new commissioner here with us tonight. So the leisure needs study is a process that we do every 5 years or so. And what it does is it gets us out to the community and asking the community what they'd like to see in recreation. Usually it is joined with parks, but we just went through a really large parks assessment. So this 5-year cycle, we're really looking at recreation and public art is in this process. We've held community meetings, stakeholder meetings, focus groups, and really have worked with a vendor to help us get this data. Right now, we're doing a lot of work in-house, and that's through our community outreach coordinator. Hi, Karen, thank you for being here. Who you will see out in the community with other staff, getting surveys and really getting information from all demographics of the public. We have sent the same information out to the entire Santa Maria Bonita School District parents, and then also all of our current users through our ActiveNet program that they use to register for programs. So we're getting the reach out there, and I'm excited to say that as of today, we have we have 676 completed surveys, which is a huge number, believe it or not. I will show you the website really quickly here in a minute, so this will make sense. MAP contributions, there's 49. Budget contributions, there's 152. And idea walls, there's 104 submissions. So this is all really exciting, getting that information from the public. As you know, our dollars are limited, and even more so in the next couple of years. So we really need to focus on what the public is interested in participating in, and that's what this information is going to give us. In addition, there's a couple of questions about public art, really to see what the interest is, where it should be located, and what kind. So that'll give the Public Art Committee some direction to go to for the next 5 years as well. Can we get that site pulled up? So I wanted to go through this with you because it is one of the easiest surveys we've done here in the department. We've typically run 40 and 50 question surveys, which can be daunting to anybody. And I think Karen would have gotten mad at me had she had to go out in the community trying to gather this information. But really what this is it's our interactive website. You should all have cards in front of you. I encourage you to get these out to your constituents and friends and family and groups. It is a really quick survey, like I said, so we will go there now. Survey is 8 questions.
Oh, I love that.
So, what activities do you and your family participate in? This is a really great one. It gives you the ability to put in order your top 3 priorities. I didn't do that on purpose. Mine is not active living seniors. Not yet, almost. And we talk about how often people participate and so on. But really great, poignant questions that are specific but general enough to give us direction. I think what the 2 other areas, the 3 other areas that really also provide a lot of data is this ideas wall. Before I scroll down, I will tell you, you're allowed to put anything you want on here. Now, so what I'm noticing is a lot of capital items. We've seen bike ramps and we've seen skate parks. And yes, we're going to take all that data and keep it and make sure that we are aware of it. That is not the intent of this survey and this study, okay? But we are keeping that information and we'll be able to use that in future to say, hey, this is what we've heard from the public. We're looking for recreation programming and not so much skate parks and things, but we do want to give people that opportunity to speak up. This website has been so helpful. We're looking at possibly keeping it up after the survey. It is through a third-party vendor right now, so we've got to worry about cost and all those other things. But if there's an opportunity, it's just a great way to get that feedback from the public every day as much as possible. So some of the ideas, outdoor activities. We talk about more frequent activities and events for the whole city to come together and participate. I did read one, some of these people just aren't aware of what we're doing, and that's a trend, and we've talked about that many times before, that I could go out and hang hanger on every doorknob, and someone still would say, what, you guys do that? So it is echoed in here as well. We see teen activities, outdoor theaters. One of the questions that we'll ask on this interactive map is, if you could, where would you place outdoor venue, a band shell, a little amphitheater, something like that. So people are given the opportunity to add different pins. Real easy, add a marker. I'm not so good at this mouse. You can go anywhere in the city, and then you can select a category and just click on what you would like to see in that location. That's going to be great for our public art. That's going to be great as we're planning for the future for an outdoor venue, really, or where do they currently recreate? So where are they already participating in activities and programs? So if we have a big group at Presker Park and we know that, maybe we need to focus on other parts of town, or add to Presker. So it really gives the public an opportunity to give their input, how it really relates to them. I love this one. This is the budget prioritization. You are given $100 in funny money. How are you going to spend it within the department? So there's your budget right there, $100. Of course, I don't know how public art got to the top, but you'll see that they're given these categories. There's 6. How would they go about spending their $100? And you can put all $100 in one, or you can put $5 in one and $95 in another, or you can spread it evenly. It's really been a great option. You can see we've gotten some great numbers here, great input. This survey will actually go through the end of February, so please, again, if you can help by distributing it. We have posters as well, and bigger flyers. Of course, social media graphics all ready to go, so if you have a way to distribute those, anything we can do to get as much public input as possible. Any questions? Thank you.
All good. Thank you. Okay, our last report will be the director's report by Mr. Alex Posada.
Thank you, Commissioners. So I want to take a minute to introduce Dave Rollins in the back of the room. Dave is the new city manager. I can't say he's new. He's been here a couple of months now, so he is the city manager. We want to welcome him to Commissioners. Introduce yourselves. It'd be great to have a time to meet with him when you get the opportunity. Wanted to touch on just a couple of things. Coming up this Thursday night is our Employee Service Awards dinner. From our department, we have 5 employees, the least 15 years of service and the most 45 years of service. So it's a big span. And if you look at our list of people, there's 20 years and 120 years and 225 years in between. So and these are employees that have been with us for obviously that length of time, but who have played really key roles in the department. So they'll get their service award on Thursday night. We talked a little bit a while back about a joint meeting between the Planning Commission and the Rec and Parks Commission. The Planning Commission's role, right now they're working on the general plan, which includes the annexation potential east of the freeway, some potential for 3,000 new residences to come into town. the planning director and I have talked, and we thought it's a good idea for the commissions to get together and talk a little bit about what the future might look like. That many more people, parks on the other side of the freeway, a lot of parks on the other side of the freeway. You know, if we kept up our standard, that would be about 50 acres of parkland that would need to be added to meet that the potential population. How do we fund that? What kind of opportunities are out there? Many things to consider. So I would like to maybe try to set that up in the April timeframe to get the commissions together, give everybody some time, because I believe they're getting a new commissioner also, so trying to get everybody's feet wet a little bit and try to set up that joint meeting. The other thing I provided you with is a copy of the National Recreation and Parks Association Top Trends in Parks for 2025, and just something for you to look at. It talks about many of the things that we're facing locally, and the survey that Dennis mentions, you know, we're talking about health and well-being, loneliness as a condition that we're seeing amongst our senior population and even some of our youth population. Looking at what program trends are out there in aquatics, therapeutic recreation programs. We truly don't have a therapeutic recreation program. We have some dabblings with our Action Club, which is part of Kiwanis, and they are adults with developmental disabilities that run their own service organization. We engage with the local Special Olympics program, which we have teams that locally participate in Special Olympics, and our facilities are at their disposal for training programs and competitions. So it is a different model in Special Olympics over the last few years. Everybody's trying to get back after the pandemic to get not only their, in this case, athletes up to date, but their volunteers. Impacts of technology. Everybody's talking about AI and how it's going to impact things. So this just hits these top points, and I think they're important to kind of see the trends that's happening across the country. And our association with National Recreation and Parks Association makes that information available to us all. The last thing I wanted to touch on was the conference coming up in Sacramento in March. I think everybody who is going has signed up, and I think housing is all done. Is that right, Ms. Clerk? Mm-hmm. So we're all set for that. We'll get a little closer. We'll talk a little bit about travel plans, how people plan to get there, if we want to carpool or we're setting a van or whatever the case might be. That's it, I think, for me. I just wanted to say thank you, and again to welcome to Commissioner Ramirez. You know, we're looking forward to. I was almost a little concerned. You know, I was going to have 5 women on the dais. You know, but he's gotten in there, and I told him, I said, be prepared. We got some good ladies to lead the organization. So, looking forward to a good year this year, and we'll see how things go. Thank you.
Concerned? Sorry. Thank you. Any questions? Alex?
How many homes did you say were planned to be put up east of the freeway?
They may not just be homes, but it's 3,000 units was the last number that I heard. And our average household size is about 3.25 people per residence. 3.25 people per residence, so.
So significant, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, it's not going to all happen tomorrow. It's going to evolve over time. But, you know, it's all about the plan. And, you know, we have to have the plan in place in order for it to evolve in an orderly fashion.
Okay, any questions? We all good? Mm-hmm. Okay, next we're moving on to commissioner items. For Jose, what we normally do is first you state what official business you've been on, and then community interest items. So in the future, you can, you know, have it in your head. So who wants to begin? Official business?
I'll share.
Yesterday, we were in a meeting for the Blocks and Grants Advisory Committee. We did do our site visitations last month, where we visited a few organizations. Last night, we heard from the organizations as far as CDBG funding, and we are in deliberation process, so we're hoping, I want to say next meeting, it'll be approved as far as the funding to the organizations who all applied. Unfortunately, not everyone will get the grants. We do have 17 organizations that applied, and we can only select 12 out of 17, so, yeah. And I was recently in a picture with Play. We got awarded $4,000 from Ag West, which was nice. A lot of work, a lot of grant writing, but hey, it was $4,000, so that's awesome. And I also want to add that Commissioner Lopez is back on the Planning Commission, so.
Oh, good, good.
So it's just, last thing for me, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'll go. In the past month, I did go to the meeting that we had.
Oh, the focus group leisure. the
Yes.
Leisure needs focus group.
Yes, that's the one that I was involved in.
I went to the Play meeting, and I'm hoping to go again. So, yeah, I'm excited. Thank you.
I went to, well, the leisure needs group, which was a lot of fun. 3 of us were there, or were there 4 of us? It was kind of
was
crazy.
3.
3, yeah. It was a really good meeting. Planning Commission meeting, January 16th. There's a lot going on with the city planning. County Parks Commission. I wanted to bring that up. I'm actually a County Parks Commissioner as well. And there's so many right now, but there's a county master plan that's just been released for art, actually. And I mean, it can be confusing because there's the city leisure needs that you just heard about. There's the urban forest master plan. There's the county master, there was one other one, the general plan that was, so, but there's the county master plan, which it's been published online, and it's a proposed county plan for the next 20 years of Santa Barbara County. And it's in Spanish and English, so you can download it and read it and give some input. It talks about the next 20 years. It includes the county's plan to build parks, trails, which is a huge county thing, and recreation facilities to help meet the needs of all of our communities. So it would be really good if you could get on and check it out. All of the comments are due by February 24th, 5 p.m. Monday. But just get on. It's really interesting, and it's interactive, and there's so much to learn, and it'll help with our city, to know more about our city parks by getting familiar with the process. Anyway, that's something I wanted to say. I think that's about it. The Mayor's Youth Task Force, we finally had our organizational meeting a couple weeks ago, and we'd start in early fall, so we're running a little late, but we're getting that going, and we'll be taking a group of students to, I believe we're going south this time, to LA, and we do at least 3 colleges, and we always try and do at least 3 museums, and it's just a really fun-filled, quick, exhausting 2 days, but it's just so much fun. The kids love it, and they learn so much. We all do. Anyway, with that, I think we are complete, and I'd like a motion to adjourn. Okay. We're adjourned. 5:05, it looks like. 5:04. Thank you, everybody. See you next month.